kaj je majstor videa.
Mhm.
Pa ćemo to izrezati. Ali sad se možemo samo nadati da će to biti
Da.
nakon svega dostupno.
Da.
To ne znam, da li će Vegh u 6.00 prekinuti sve, svima internet, struju i to.
Da.
Evo
neko ti je, evo ga, dobro. Nav dolazi. Taj Nav mi je nekak poznat lik, kada sam ga viđao negdje. Mislim, ne vani, onak, na internetu.
Tak je, da. Ostavlja trag posvuda. To jest, javlja se. Šta još? Dobro. Evgen. A ne, to je global. Znaš ništa. Dobro. Da, dobro, može. Znači ti uvedeš, onda ja kak ti ga, sad ću prekinuti sharing, da sam da probam znači odem na window i kažem ovo. Sad ja tu imam full screen.
Da, jesi. A nije svojka full screen, ali da, tvoj screen share je skoro cijeli screen.
Da li je nužno imati, još nisu ni po redu, super. ABCD su, dobro. Enter full screen, znači, koji je ovo znak, majke?
Da, nice.
Tak.
Da. Šta ti je ovo selektirano, Nav? Okay.
Nemam pojma, slika je, boga jevo. Gle ovo.
Zanimljivo.
Ovo je Mac, stvarno. Gle, šta? Create event, bog te. Možeš sve iz slike pročitati.
Wow.
Aha. Ali kad treba biti pametan, onda ne reagira, ne trza. Sad je prepametan.
Nije ti full screen više.
Je, ok. Sam da vidim.
Ok, da. Stavim Marija prvog, da.
Budem ih preimenovao da mi budu jedno po druga po treća. Nav je drugi. Ja sam to sve proizvoljno pisao kako koji redoslijed tak sve jedno. Hoćeš sad to otvoriti kao... Vidi ga. Joj, kako me izbacuje iz takta nekada je. Njega izbacio sa zgrade. Open. Ok, znači ovo mi treba full screen.
Evo došao je Nav Singh se RSVP-o.
Ok.
Ja sam ga check-inao.
Dobro. Ako ja stavim ovo na... Gle, ja sam svakako za ovake stvari, samo uvijek sam ih viđao, ali nikad ih nisam radio, pa... Full screen, dobro, i sad kad ja napravim ovo... I napravim share screen, window... Toga nema. Super. Možda mogu.
O, došao je Mario, evo uspio ući.
Koliko je već?
Nice.
45 ili? Je.
Šta?
45 je.
46, da.
Dobro.
Mario, možeš pričati, evo te mi moramo staviti da možeš pričati. Probaj prvo sam pričati, dam ti 10 sekundi. Probaj u chat napisati nešto, da možeš. Pa tak malo istražiš šta ima. Ok, nice, pričaš, ne čujemo te, sad ću te probati staviti. Presenter mode on, I guess. Probaj sad nešto reći. Ok, Mario, tu trebaš se unmutat, uvijek si mutan po defaultu.
Aha, dobro.
Dok te stavimo, ok, cool.
Gdje si Darkeru?
Nice.
Super.
Malo si mračan.
Čekaj, da vidimo.
Dobro, nije.
Možda.
Dobro. Ma dobro, a probaj shareat screen, inak ćemo većinu vremena shareat screen, pa ono.
Ajde, da ga mi vidimo, da bude. Vo, des.
Sad ne znam da li da dok će prezenter neki shareat screen, da li da se isključimo mi ili ma ne.
Prvo se vidi.
Ajde, dosta ćemo ovak sa strane.
Evo, to je to.
Nice.
Svi će biti tu sa strane.
Da, svi ćemo biti sa strane u stvari.
Ima iz meetupa.
Da, samo moramo presenter mode on stavljati onima ko... Znači ti, Mario, nisi mogao niš prije nego smo ti stavili presenter
Ne, evo,
mode.
sad sam tek mogao, evo, tek sam sad ušao kao 45, a presenter mode, evo sad kad si me dobro, inače ne.
Da, skužim, okej.
Uopće nisam ove dolje funkcionalnosti, ni stop.
Da.
Ni mute,
Kako ćemo onda, Marko, tijekom eventa, ćemo onda dok recimo Mario završit, ćemo Marija maknut, dodati ili ćemo ga ostaviti?
Maknut ćemo ga, pa ćemo do sljedećeg, maknut njega pa do kraja.
Okay. Da, i onda ćemo na kraju, primat ćemo tijekom eventa, vjerojatno u chat ima Q&A, to moramo naglasiti, to ću ja naglasiti na početku, da imamo u chat Q&A, i mogu ljudi stavljati pitanja, pa ćemo na kraju onda odgovarati na ta pitanja svi, pa ćemo aktivirati sve speakere.
Definitivno, da.
Cool. Hoće jel ti, Mario, vidiš chat od mene i Marka od prije?
Da, vidimo ovo što ste pisali, ono FGVD, čujete, prije 2 dana.
Da, kako ćemo to? A mogu deletat message. Hoćemo se mučiti s tim, Marko, da deletamo te message, ali ne?
Pa najbolje delete to, ono, kao za test i to, sve.
Ajde, deletat ću. What?
Sad, sutra.
Evo ide poruka svima, pa sad ako ne krene sutra. Shit, ne, ovo nije prošlo. A jebi ga, ljudi će vidjeti da ja manipuliram sa Windowsima. To jest ne.
Saš vidjeti, sad ćete na početku biti ono, niko ti neće doći do prvih par minuta prek meetupa i onda kad će vidjeti da treba GDG aktivirati, to će prvo zezati.
Evo došao je Sergej.
Da, Sergej, to je... Da tu Sergej, ti s nama?
Da, došao je se upravo sad se pridruži.
Da.
Aha, kad ti share screen. Shit. Daj, možeš samo malo odšerat screen, sad da neš probam. Prosti.
Može.
Jedna sekundu. Aha, ok, znači ovako će izgledat nekak. Ježi ga sad. Dok ja najdem, naravno da nije. Koji je to gum, čovječe? Joj, brave sam. Kaj se događa? Više ne znam gdje. Vi vidite ovo što ja radim, ili?
Da, vidimo tvoje slikice. O, Ivan je isto došao, imamo 5 ljudi već. Jel bi trebali početi na engleskom pričat kad?
Ma dobro, možemo još.
Ok, ja ću pratit ove ko se još RSVP-a, pa ću ih checkinat tu ko dođe u zadnji čas i to.
Mogu ja sad ovako staviti?
Da, možeš, slobodno.
Ajde. Pa ću sljedeći put naći taj gumb za povećanje na... Povećanje, nimalo stresno, nimalo.
Idemo opušteno, idemo do kraja.
A ništa, ajde. Sergej, a ne može pričati, jel?
Ne.
Ne može niko pričati, moraš mu stisnuti ovoga presenter mode on.
Ma ništa.
I onda se mora unmutat.
Sorry, Sergej, ništa to. A ne, čekaj, pa da, može. Kaj? Pa ćemo ih sve mutat. Evo ih.
Pa može.
Ma chat, dobro. Ili ne, lik.
Pa chat je super, da. Chat je super stvar.
Samo
Baš ti se nekako ovoga zeznula ova rezolucija Marijeve slike, ono. Tu na toj
Pa da,
kartici
to je vjerojatno
prezent.
to ona 200x200 sa LinkedIna.
Aha, da. Imamo 6. gosta, Hrvoje. Pozdrav Hrvoje. Možeš pisati u chat, ko ćeš. Kasnije ćemo da imati Q&A isto. Da. Da, stvarno, je to ista majica, joj? Slična.
Ne, druga.
Slična, no, nije isto.
Ame,
Pa di si bio uopće?
what did I miss?
Pa ništa, priključilo se još neki ljudi.
Aha. Ok, 6. Super. Šta, pa dajmo svima sve.
Pa ajde.
Ajde, koga šiša?
Ajde, ti daj svima sve, pa ćemo micat. Ili možemo samo mutat možda ljude prisilno.
Ako ovaj gumb radi gore, vidjet ćemo. Hello! You can talk now. No?
A mislim da je ipak bolja ideja da samo, da ne mora sad baš svi pričati. Osim ako žele nešto. Znači čekaj, ali ima tu kao neki dizanje ruke ili nešto ono?
Ne.
Da. Mislim da je ona praksa da pričaju samo ljudi koji su speakeri.
Reću da svi možemo dok ne krenemo.
Ali dobro, dok nas je 6, onda stvarno se može tu svašta.
Oh, this is networking.
Da.
Ko priča? Nitko.
Niko.
Ne, ovaj Bevi malo isto kašlje. Da, ja dam svima glas, jedan svima ugašeni mikrofon.
Hi Sergey, can you talk, Sergey? Sad čujem kad pričam sad.
Da, čuješ se.
Čuje se.
Inače.
Ide. Evo.
Eto. Sad sam skužio da smo trebali neku kratku, barem jedan slajd napraviti ono kao uvodni.
A da, piši. Bit će sljedeći put.
Da, a za prošli put smo to se sjetili, ovaj sad nisam.
Bitno sam došao.
Jer će biti čudno ako ću ja ono kao neš reći, a tu je tvoja slika, tvoj screen, pa ćemo ti onak, bit će malo zbunjujuće možda. Alo, svejedno.
Pa hoću, da. Mogu prebaciti na zadnju sliku od eventa.
Pa da, da, može, da, stavi sliku eventa. Dok ja pričam, dok ti počneš, onda staviš Marije. Dok ga počneš, da, to zvuči super.
Pa možda ću stići.
Ajde. Sretno.
Je, ovo je. Online event with various topics, ne. Dobro. Vidi se profesionalnost. 0. Sekund.
Evo imamo još 2 nova RSVP-a, jedan novi ovdje. To 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Evo i Renta stigo.
Da. I onda nešto.
O, majke ti. A zakaj to tak nestane? Pa daj me, nemoj. Pardon. Ovak. Ništa, Sandro, pripremi se.
Spreman sam.
Ćemo za minutu kreneš, pa...
Da, 2 minute. Čekat ćemo točno 0:0. Ne znam,
Evo,
ovi svi online satovi bi trebali raditi isto.
Ko?
Satovi na laptopima bi svi trebali raditi isto, da se to sinkronizira svako malo sa nekim globalnim kolkom. Da, tako da ono što je meni 17.00.00 će svima biti.
Da. Evo, gasim svima. Zašto sam Mario gasim?
Ok, super. We're almost ready to go. Just a couple more minutes.
Sorry, Mario.
Opet je ostao selektiran tekst na slici.
Pa ne mogu. To je ta veličina slike, ne znam kaj da radim.
A dobro, ajde, vidi se malo.
Jel mogu ovako? Ok. Mario. Vrati se, Mario.
Evo me, tu sam.
Ok, pardon, slučajno sam te šiknuo.
One more minute to go.
Ajde, idi brit. Ok. Vidjet ćemo.
30 seconds to go.
Ajde, kreni, pa će...
No.
A Mario mora kreni.
People are still RSVPing. I'm checking them in, so let's not start just yet. I'll start in 15 seconds. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to our first online event. We're for the first time using the official Vegh platform. That's the one that you had to RSVP into. That's the official platform for Google Developer Group, so we decided to give it a try. And I won't be showing my face because I'm extremely sick, I would say. I got some allergies and rash all over my face and body. So it doesn't look good. So that's about it for me. We have 3 speakers and Marco will tell you all about that. And afterwards, yeah, we have chat. So you can talk in chat, but within the chat, there's general and there's Q&A. So you can start, okay, I need to start the Q&A. Okay, I started the Q&A. We'll see how that works. So after the event, after all the speakers are done, we'll answer all the questions. So Marco, take it away.
So yeah, welcome. Our first speaker for today is Mario. Welcome, Mario, and he'll talk about Apache Kafka, how to implement it into Spring Boot. So Mario, the floor is yours. Is it?
No, can you give me?
Yes, there you go. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Hello guys, my name is Vegh and I am currently working in the company Ingemark. Today I'll present some basic stuff about Apache Kafka integrated with the Spring Boot client Kafka library. So in the microservices communication, we have two types of communication. One is synchronous communication via HTTP. The client sends a request to the server and waits for response back. So when the response comes back, our program starts with execution the program. So the thread is blocked. In the asynchronous communication, the client sends a request to some broker, for example, Apache Kafka or RabbitMQ, and immediately start with the execution program. So the thread is not blocked. Here in the asynchronous communication, we have a few services. For example, order service, stock, payment, delivery, and so on. For example, the order service sends some message to the Apache Kafka broker topic, to the topic stock. On the other side, the stock service continuously pulls the data from that topic, makes some processing of the data, makes some changes to the database, and send message back to the new topic called payment. After that, the payment service receives that message, makes some changes to the code, saving to the database, and send to the third-party services like PayPal, Stripe, and so on. After that, the payment service sent some data to the new topic called delivery. So the delivery service process some information, make some changes to the database, send some emails or SMS to the client, and after that, send to the topic order, and the flow is the order. Here's the example how asynchronous communication works. So the Kafka topic, we can look at the Kafka topic as a category or the entity in the Apache Kafka broker server. So the Kafka topic lives inside the Kafka broker. So a topic is identified by a name. That means the producer needs to know the topic name on which to produce the data, and on the other side, the consumer needs to know the topic name to consume the data. So the Kafka topic supports various messages formats, such as string, integer, JSON, and so on. Here's the example how it looks like. The Kafka producer produces some messages to the topic stock, and on the other side, Kafka consumer pull the data. So when the data come to the consumer makes some processing of the data and send to another service and so on. So here is the Kafka partition. Every Kafka topics are divided into partition. So each Kafka topic will be created with one or more partition. But it is a pretty common practice to create more than one partition because of the scalability consumption. So the messages within partition get a sequential number, which is called an offset. So when the first message arrives into the partition, we'll get a sequential number 0. The next one, 1, third 2, and so on. So once the message is written to a partition, it cannot be changed. The message is in the read-only mode. It cannot be updated. The default value when the message will be deleted is 7 days. So this is the property retention time milliseconds, which can be defined onto the topic. So when the message arrives into the partition, will be appended to the commit log. So the commit log is a file which is located in the file system where is our Kafka broker installed. So here is the example how it looks like. The Kafka producer produces some messages. So the first message will go to the partition 1 on the offset 2. The another message will go, for example, to partition 0 with an offset 4. When we run our Spring Boot application, the topic will be automatically created. That means, for example, if the topic stock not exists on our Kafka broker, topic will be immediately created. For example, here's the partition 3. We have 3 partitions, partition 0, partition 1, and partition 2. With 2 replicas, that means our 3 partition will be replicated onto the other Kafka broker server. So we have a Kafka producer. So the Kafka producer writes the data to the topic. It has 2 parameters. One is a key and another one is a value. So the key is the optional parameter and the value is a mandatory parameter. So producer knows in which partition to write a data. So when the producer invoked a send function, our message will go through a lot of layers behind the scene, and after that we'll send to the Kafka broker. So one of the layer is the partitioner layer. So partitioner layer check our message has a key, and if our message has a key, will we go to the hashing key approach. So if our message does not have a key, will be used a round robin approach. So here's the example how it looks like without a key. So the Kafka producer produces a message. It got through a lot of layers behind the scene, and one of the layers is the partitional layer. So when we send a bike message to the partitional layer determines that our message does not have a key, and our message will go to the partition 0. So the another message is a car. So the car will go to the partition 1 because our message does not have a key. So every message will go to a next partition. And the third is a bus. So when the consumer joined to the broker, to the topic stock, the process of ordering a message is not guaranteed. So maybe our consumer will start read the car, after that bus, bike, and so on. The ordering is not guaranteed. So the ordering is only guaranteed by a partition. On the next slide, we have with a key. So the Kafka producer send a message with a key. When the message arrives into the partition, the partitioner will make some hashing function based on our key and determine on which position our message will go. So the first message will go to the partition 0. The next one message is a bike. So the bike has a same key as the previous message. So the partitioner will make some hashing function based on the key and send that message to the partition 0. Also, and third message is a car. So the car will also go to the partition 0. On the other side, when the consumer joins to the broker to read some messages, the ordering is guaranteed because all the messages is in the same partition. And our Kafka consumer will start read the message, bus, bike, car, and so on. So here is the sum of minimal setup of the producer factory. So our producer factory has a few properties. The first property, which is called a bootstrap server, define a bootstrap configuration, host, and port. We can add here 1, 2, or more Kafka brokers. Furthermore, here is the key serialize and value serialize, which serialize string into bytes. So all data will save to the commit log as a bytes. So here's the Kafka template. Kafka template is a wrapper around a Kafka producer, which contains a send method. So the first parameter is a topic, and the next one is a value, or for example, key and value. So it is also possible to define a partition, but be careful. If the partition is not exist on our Kafka broker, the send method will return an error, partition not exist. So here is some Kafka producer acknowledgement. The acknowledgement is the confirmation that our message was delivered successfully to the Kafka broker. So we have here 3 cases. Acknowledgement equal 0, 1, and all. So acknowledgement equals 0 means, for example, our Kafka producer sends a message to the broker, but for example, Kafka broker goes down for any reason, and our message is lost. So this is maybe okay for some application, maybe for some not. But in the acknowledgement equals 0, the Kafka producer produces a message to the leader Kafka broker of the partition. For example, if the Kafka brokers goes down for any reason, Kafka producer has built-in method with retrieval mechanism, which will retrieve a message. When the Kafka brokers goes up, our message will be delivered and written successfully to that broker. And we have a third case with acknowledgement equal all. So the Kafka producer produces a message to the leader, and the leader automatically replicates that message to the other Kafka broker. So on the other slide, we will see how it looks like. So here is example of Kafka producer acknowledgement all. So we have here a named topic called stock with configuration min in sync replicas 2. That means in the same time, we need 2 brokers to be up with 3 partition 0, 1, 2, and 3 replicas, broker 1, broker 2, and broker 3. So, okay, Kafka producer produces some message to the broker 1, and automatically the broker 1 replicates that message to the broker 2 and the broker 3. After the message is successfully written to the broker 2 and the broker 3 will send acknowledgement to the broker 1. So after that, the broker 1 will send acknowledgement to the Kafka producer, and our message is successfully written to the brokers. So when the Kafka producer produces a message, but the broker 2 is down for any reason, and broker 3 is down for any reason, our Kafka broker 1 will give us an exception. So the exception is not enough replicas exception. And our message will not be recorded to any broker. So the Kafka consumer reads the data from the topic. It is based on the pool model. It requests the data from the topic and gets a response back. So the reads is ordered from the low to the highest offset. So we have here 3 cases of the reading a message. From beginning, latest, and the specific offset. But for the specific offset, it needs to be programmatically set from which offset to start reading messages. So here is the example from beginning. Our Kafka producer sends some message to the partition 0, for example, message on the offset 0, 1, 2, and so on. The consumer offset is a topic, internally topic created by the Kafka broker, which contains offset by the consumer groups. So when our Kafka consumers join to the Kafka broker, it will immediately send a request to the consumer offset to check if there is any offset for the stock 1 group. So if there is no offset for the group stock 1, it will start reading from the beginning. So it will start process the message on position 0, the next one on position 1, 2, and so on. But after each message is successfully processed, our Kafka consumer will immediately send the offset to the consumer offsets. So if for any reason our Kafka consumer goes down and for maybe few seconds is up, automatically will be checked the consumer offset, which is the latest offset for the stock 1. So for example, in our scenario, this is the offset position 2, and our Kafka consumer will start reading the messages from the position 3, 4, 5, and so on. But from the latest, it is the same story. For example, Kafka producer sends some messages to the partition 0 on the message offset 0, 1, 2, and so on. After some time, our Kafka consumer joined to the broker. So it will first check if there is any offset for the stock 2 into the consumer offset. If there is no information, it will start read from the latest offset. after each message is successfully processed, our Kafka consumer will send the offset to the consumer offset topic. Okay. So there is a minimal setup for the Kafka consumer. So this is a bean, a Kafka consumer, with few properties. The first property is bootstrap service. Define a bootstrap service by host, port, and so on. We can add here 1, 2, or many more bootstrap servers. So the group ID is the mandatory property for each Kafka consumer. Furthermore, here is the key deserialize and value deserialize, which deserialize bytes to the object. For example, in our scenario, this is a string. And here is some minimal implementation of the Kafka listener. So the Kafka listener, in the Kafka listener notation, we can define 1, 2, or more topics. The group ID, with the group ID, we can overwrite the group ID from the consumer factory bean. So the container factory is the consumer factory bean. So here is the auto startup. With auto startup, we can turn on or off our method for the receiving events. So in the consumers groups, the group ID is the mandatory property, which I said in the previous slide. So all consumers read the data as a consumer group. In the consumer group, they plays a major role when it comes to the scalable consumption. And every consumer in a group reads the data from exclusive partition, which we'll see on the next slides. So here is the example of consumer groups. So our Kafka consumer listens to the all free partition, but the Kafka producer produce the messages as fast as possibly can. However, Kafka consumer cannot process the data quickly enough, and because of that, it's happened a lag. We introduced a lag. Lag means that our 5 messages is behind comparison to the real-time reading of the messages. So we will see on another slide how to fix that problem. So here is the Kafka producer, which produce some messages to the partition 0, 1, 2, and so on. And Kafka consumer listen to all 3 partitions. When the new Kafka consumer join to the broker, it will immediately send a signal to the group coordinator. So the group coordinator will check our new Kafka consumer, which is the topic of that new consumer. So if the topic is the same as the consumer on the left side, will trigger a rebalance. So rebalance is the way of changing the ownership of each partition. For example, after rebalance, partition 0 and partition 1 will be assigned to Kafka consumer first, and the partition second will be assigned to the second consumer. So the Kafka producer also produces some messages to the partition, but the maximum consumers which when assigned to the partition is a 3. So every consumer is assigned to every partition. It cannot be possible to both consumers listen on one partition. So if the new consumer arrives, it will be in the idle mode. That means will be do nothing. But if one of the consumers goes down for any reason, the 4th consumer will be easily replace that position. And here is the example of 2 different groups. So for example, Kafka producer produced some messages, but the application with group stock 1 is the one application, and the group with stock 2 is the another application. So this is 2 different applications which consume the data from the same topic. For example, application first have the simplest logic, and it is okay to run running with the 2 consumers, and the second application has more logic and it has 3 consumers running. And thank you guys for listening. Here's some resources, and if you have any question, you can contact me on the LinkedIn and so on.
Yeah, thank you, Mario. That was very informative. I'm trying to say that everyone can remember their questions, or right now write them down in the chat on the side under Q&A, and we will answer them after all the sessions are finished. So Mario, if you let me share my screen now.
Okay, I'll now stop sharing screen.
Yeah. We will share the presentations when the event is finished, so don't worry. You'll have everything for yourself. And now I would like to welcome Nav with his topic, PhotoPicker in Android 13. Just let me arrange so he can join us. Nav, you should now have rights to talk and share your screen. Hello, Nav.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, all good. We're all good. We're all eager to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, sure. Let me
So,
share screen.
yeah, share your screen and take it away. Thank you.
Okay. Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we do. It's a bit compressed, no? It's a bit tight.
Ah, okay. Let me check. Is it on my
It's
side?
square. It's square. It's not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is it still? Yeah, I see. It's. Is it on your side or is it on?
I'm not sure. Can we get someone from other host? Sandro, do you see?
Yeah, I also see it in like 4:3 resolution. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Okay, let me try something else.
Well, if it's not a problem, we can. We can
Yeah, I think
go to.
now it's better, right?
Oh yeah. Great.
yeah, perfect.
Okay. So let's get started. So hello everyone, my name is Nav Singh. I'm from Montreal, Canada, working as a mobile software engineer at Manulife and Google developer expert for Android and GDG organizer for Montreal. So now we will discuss or explore the new tool which is introduced in Android 13. It's called PhotoPicker. So at this moment, the Android 13, it's in platform stability point. So it probably by end of September or like in next month or two, it will be released to the public that we can use it. So in the meantime, we will explore like what is introduced, like the features and all that stuff. So one of those features is PhotoPicker. So before actually deep dive into this tool, we will see the reasoning behind this, like why we actually need a new tool for selecting images or videos in our Android applications. So the first major concern or the reason is like the runtime permissions that if you are Android developer, like if we want to access images or videos or like reading data from users device storage, we need to ask first permissions, and then if they allow permissions to our application, then we can only move forward, which is, as a developers, we really need to manage that efficiently, because these are the runtime permissions. They are considered dangerous permissions. So every time like user wants to, if we want to allow user to select image or video, we make sure we check the permissions and follow the proper best practices for asking for the permissions. But with this tool, we don't need any permissions. It will just like we will launch the intent or this tool, and from there we are good to go. And whenever users select anything from the tool, we get the data back into our application and we can move forward with that data. And second thing is about, it's the standard tool. So there is no currently there is no any support for customizing the UI, like how it behaves or how it look like. So this provides a better consistency for like in terms of external consistency. By what I mean by that is like, if there are 10 applications in your Android device and they all have some sort of functionality where user can select any image or video, with this tool user get the same feel even if they are in different applications, because the look, like the UI wise and how it behaves, it will work same for all the devices. It's not just like there is a way for customizing some stuff, but you from UI wise there is no way that we can customize its user interface. So these are the two major reasons like why this tool was introduced. So now we will see like what is PhotoPicker tool. So it's basically the interface, like the browsable interface where user can browse through all the media that they have, for example images and videos. And it's a searchable interface, like user, they don't need to scroll, like if they if they have 100 images, they don't need to scroll all the way from all the content to find what they want. So there is they can also perform search and select image in their content from there. So there are also some limitations, although it has a lot of benefits, but the limitation is right now it's only available for Android 13. So if you are targeting older SDKs, because that's the most of the cases for Android developers, we are not always just targeting one version. So if you are targeting 12, 23, all the way back to whatever version, in that case you still might need to, if you want to use this tool, you can like wrap the launching of this tool in by checking the build SDK version of your of the device at when in the runtime. So if it's 13, you can use this tool. Otherwise, follow the older way, which is like ask for permissions and then go from there. And I have added the link for the future improvements in the docs. It's mentioned that the Android team, like the framework team, they are planning to provide a support for older versions up to Android 10, which is really good because Android 10 and higher versions almost cover the 90% market of that Android devices. So we are really, as a developers, we get a chance to actually work with this tool for a quite good market or quite good user audience for the Android devices. But for the moment, it's only for Android 13. And now we will go through the implementation, like what we can modify or how we can modify, like how we can manipulate the behavior of this new tool. There are some default settings that we can change. So to how to launch this tool, there is a media action added in the media store. So if you see in the code snippet within the brackets of the intent, that's the new action which is used to launch this tool, which is called action pick images. And by default, media selection image limit is 1, so that when we launch this tool, user can only select one image or a video at a given time. But if we want to manipulate or modify that limit, we can provide the extra information when we launch the intent. If you see in the second line, there is a new constant added in the media store, like the property that we can use to provide the information when we are launching the tool, like, hey, we want more than one images or videos our user can select. So in this case, I provided 2. So this is how we can actually modify the limit. By modify the limit, that doesn't mean that as a developers we have like a full freedom that we can say like 1,000 or whatever number we want. There is a space limit which is based on the platform. So if we want as a developers want to provide a freedom to the user that they can select more than one, in that case we also need to respect the limit that platform has provided. And how we can know that limit, the code is there. It's from media store. There is a method called get pick images max limit. So if that limit is, for example, say 10, then we need to respect that limit when we are passing the maximum limit in the intent extra information, which is in this case is 2. So that extra information needs to be respected when we want to customize the how many images or media content videos user can select. And then the next thing is the MIME type. So by default, user can select any image or video from this with this tool. But if, for example, in our use case or in our Android applications, we don't want user to select videos, we only want them to allow to select images. Then when we launch the intent, or when we create an intent, we can pass the type. We can set the type. This code is written in Kotlin. If you are familiar with Java, that type equals to image slash star, or type equals to video slash star is basically calling the method set type, which is in Java, because in Kotlin we getter setters are not there. So we just directly call the properties without actually having those set type or get type, stuff like that. So if you only want allow user to select two images, you can define the type equals to images, which is first line after the intent one. And then if you want only videos, we can also define that. By default, user can select images as well as videos. So that was the overall, all about the tool, like how it works, like how we can modify it. And in the demo, I just have the screenshot added here. So you just need to launch the intent. For example, when you launch this intent, this is the UI. So on the left side where you see the small bottom sheet, the behavior of this tool is also depend on the max limit. So by default, when we don't provide any customized max limit, it's just a 1. So when it's 1, then the PhotoPicker tool, it was open in half screen mode, which is on the left side, so that user can select only one media file at a given time. But if we customize the limit, for example, I said 2 here. In that case, if the limit is defined more than 1, then in that case the PhotoPicker tool, it's open in a full screen mode, which is on the right side. And if you see, there is a circles on all the media files, so that user can know that they can select more than one file. So that's all about this quick overview of this tool. It's really simple and easy to use. We don't need to worry about the permissions. We just launch and get the data from here. And here are the references. The first one is about the Medium article. I have added the sample repository there. You can check the code, like when you just select the image, how to process the data in our application. And then there is a references for, there is a last reference that you can check for the code, which is on GitHub. It's public. And the second one is about the PhotoPicker, like if you want to read on the official documentation about this tool. So that's all from my side. Thanks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, if you want, please stay a bit longer after the presentation when we will read out the questions and then you can answer them. But
yeah, sure. I will be here.
Yeah, now we are up to date with PhotoPicker in Android 13. Thank you. That was very interesting. And now I will, if you allow me, I will give the word to Rabimba.
Sure.
So yeah, our next presenter is Rabimba. Sorry, let me. Who will talk to us about how can we work in AR and VR in these modern times. So let's all welcome Rabimba, presenter mode on. Hello, do we have contact? Rabimba, are we here? Yes, no? Oh, 1 moment. I think he's restarting. But no worries, we have some time to remind you to go to chat, then select Q&A and write down your questions. We are all eager to hear them, and I believe our presenters are ready to answer them as soon as possible. There we go. Rabimba. Anything new? Also, this is our first online event, so you might notice some discrepancies, but we will work on it to be a bit better in the future. Yeah, now I'm rambling, but after the presentations are finished, you all get a voice, so we can all chat together. Just wait. Just let us wait for Rabimba to join us. Maybe I should restart something. There we go. Yes, no. Yeah. Sandro?
Yeah, I'm also checking it. It seems that the permissions are okay. Okay, his Rabimba is gone again.
Yeah.
Maybe if he joins again, maybe it will work.
So we are both enabling him to speak.
No, I'm not. I wasn't intervening.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
was just checking.
Sorry. Here we go. He has some troubles joining us. Also in the chat, we can talk all together. I don't think I have. Yeah, you have, Rabimba. We enabled it. You're going off and on. You can all chat in the chat while we solve this issue. Rabimba, you need to enable a camera and microphone permissions in the browser left of the URL if you're using Chrome. Maybe you need to do
Yeah,
that.
the lock icon next to the URL. Enable camera, microphone, and everything. And you should see the presenting option, like muting yourself, starting video, sharing screen. You should see those.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh. I do have them. Okay. You can write in the chat, all of you, how are you feeling or how do you find this event so far? We would like some feedback momentarily, no? Something like that. While you're all still here, yeah. We don't have an option to play some songs, and the drinks they didn't arrive, so I apologize. We'll send them to your address next time.
So, Marco, do you add presenter permission to Rabimba every time he joins,
No,
or he has it by default because you already gave him?
he just signs in and he already has them. So
Interesting.
I'm not changing anything for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. In the future, maybe we'll ship internationally everything. This is our second event so far, so we're very young still.
Yeah, Rabimba is having some issues with his devices, at least in Chrome.
Maybe while we wait, maybe if Mario wants to answer the Q&A questions. So.
Yeah, okay.
Mario are we
put
in contact?
Okay, I'm here.
Hey.
Yeah.
So while we wait for Rabimba, maybe you can see in the QA there were 2 questions for Mario, and I believe in general chat
there's also one.
There is a question from Tomislav. So you can read them out and pick the order in which you want to.
From the QA, you can start.
Sure. Maybe we can read the question out loud. Maybe Marco or Mario, whoever wants.
Yeah. Okay, I will read them. Okay, the first one is from Ivan. Mario, when there are no keys, when adding things to partitions, what happens when the partitions are full and one more piece of data comes?
So, when our Kafka broker is full and we do not have a space on the Kafka broker, the new element will not saved to the Kafka broker. So this will be a problem with, for example, with Kafka consumers, because for example, when the Kafka consumer needs to commit an offset, they cannot commit an offset because there is no space in the consumer offset. So this will be a problem. But on the topic, it is Rabimba is here. So, but with the topic,
Finally.
so on the topic, you can define a retention time period to default is 7 days. So you can override to maybe 1 minute, and all our data will be deleted after 1 minute.
Oh, okay, Ivan, does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Ivan. We will continue after after Rabimba's presentation. Yeah. So Mario, we'll see you in a bit. So our next presenter is Rabimba. I will enable his microphone. Sorry, Rabimba. What? Let's go like this again. Yeah. Hello. Are we there? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi, Rabimba. Hello. Glad to have you here. You can
Yeah,
start your presentation by sharing your screen, and
yeah,
we're
let me
ready
share
for
my
you.
screen. You still can see my screen, right?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Yeah, there it is.
stop.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Okay, it's there. Wait, what happened? Okay, I'll wait a bit before it properly shows.
Okay, there it is.
There it is. I can see it.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Rabimba. I'm Google Developer Expert and used to work in WebXR, so augmented and virtual reality, but using web technologies. I'm a GDE in web technology. Me in a nutshell, that's me. Work in Mozilla, and I'm a graduate student. I'm a PhD student at Rice University, and that's kind of all of me personally. So let's talk about what virtual reality is. Any experience with virtual reality? Like, have you tried any Oculus devices or anything else? You can just type in the chat. I am actually monitoring that. So this is a picture that's pretty long ago, and you can see that's the first conception of what augmented and virtual reality was. So as you can see in the picture, it was the whole room, and people could walk in the room, and there were sensors following you around, and that's how kind of had this. Fast forward, we now have a lot of sensors. These are our input sensors. So these kind of can track, and these kind of have inputs which you can actually map in a VR world. So you have wireless input devices, you have GPS antennas, you have sensors which can track you, which can track other objects, which can actually track the whole world. Now, these has to come and get projected somewhere. So in this slide, you can see vastly different 4 kind of like VR experiences. From the very left to the very right, you can literally see they are very different kind of experiences, where in one side we have HoloLens. We also have things like mobile, where you can just project something on top of real world, or you can just have a completely VR experience. So what are the things I'm going to talk about today is some of the problems we and what are the things we already have today. So I'm going to more focus on the browser part of the VR AR, because I think after this talk, you all will be able to very quickly kind of create code in VR AR in browser, which you will be able to. So first, we need browser-level technologies where you don't have to use tools like Unity or Unreal Engine or any advanced gaming engine to create a VR experience. Those are awesome tools to use, but as a developer, I don't immediately want to devote more time to create learn more like complex technologies. So when I started like experimenting and playing with it, I had zero knowledge about Unity. I had zero knowledge about anything. I am % in Python and all those things. And script, it was very easy for me to pick up something which I can play, create a code, and immediately see in a browser and use my phone to actually get inside. We also need platform-independent VR framework so that something you build can immediately run in any device, be that in your iPhone, be that in your Android, or be that in your computer tethered to an Oculus maybe. These kind of enables us to have global technologies like social services, service for world knowledge. For example, you can create a Pokemon-like experience in browser where you create some object, some digital asset in one place. You don't have to share that with everybody. You just have to create it. Somebody tweet out a link, and anybody next can. Those kind of should be now the technologies. So I can divide into 3 parts. The first is the technology virtual reality. And some of the frameworks which enables it. One of the frameworks I'm going to talk about is A-Frame, and there are more, Babylon.js, and there are a lot of other technologies you can use to build up. But once you are like familiar with one, you can actually start creating for others as well. Then we are going to progress to the what WebXR is. X here is just for like crossed mixed reality, so it can encompasses both augmented and virtual reality in a single space. These are some of the devices you already have. They all vary in their capabilities, starting from a literally like $3 Google Cardboard or free, depending on your home, to Google Daydream, to HTC Vive and Oculus. They all have a different level of capabilities. So when you are actually building an experience, you need to have this in mind, who your target audience is, and can your application scale up or down based on that. There should, yeah. So why WebVR? Because it's open, it's connected, and it's instant because it's web. So I can create an application, I can create an experience in VR, I can just tweet it out, and you don't need to install anything. You just go to that web page, you just click on that link, and it's instantly, you open that and you can get the experience. Where can you? So if you are starting to build up, I would suggest you to check this site out. This will give you all the capabilities of which browser is supporting what of the APIs right now available to you. So starting from Firefox, Edge, Chromium, Chrome for Android, and Samsung Internet, they all have support for this. You will see Safari absent from this slide because they haven't yet completely taken up on all the APIs for WebVR. But you can already start building for them because of the mobile polyfills, which will help you bridge those gaps, though it's not as performant as native implementation of these other browsers. So let's go back to the framework, like what we can do today. So if I go for a hello world of like how I want to build a very simple application, a very simple VR application. These are actually all the lines I need. And let me have time to actually show you. Wait.
We have 10 more minutes. It's okay.
Actually, so if you just copy paste these lines in your browser, you will immediately have a experience. So this actually works with a lot of existing frameworks you have, the D3, Vue, Angular, and you can learn about it in the Airframe blog. So some of the experiences you can already build. So this is a painted. You can find it in. This is a painting application where you can just paint anything you want. You can also have a completely 360-degree experience inside your browser. This is an application created by Amnesty International, where you can see in real life and walk around what it feels like to have a bomb blast. So a little bit about WebXR. So mixing media person's perception is available. So this is the exact same demo, like exact same 5 lines of code I showed you in VR, but on top of a real. But this one is based on the challenges of AR were simple AR has been time doing markers and where we are doing it. But in the long run, this approach is not enough. We need wide knowledge to actually sense where it's happening. So yeah, are we running out of time? Okay, so oh no, so I thought I heard. Display text is also diverse. You can have video with mixed real life and as well as virtual objects. This was supposed to be what was supposed to be HoloLens. It's not there yet, as you can see. So what can we do? What are we doing? Can we just mimic what extend what WebVR is and add native sensors to the scene? Problem is, augmented reality is more than just VR and video and spatial tracking, and mixed more than that. So what people have done is that we can have geospatial references, custom computer vision added with social sharing and cloud. So if you see, there are Google Cloud anchors you can actually use with AR anchors to actually have this experience. So one of the easy approaches have a webby experience to AR and have some of the same capabilities we have in web. Why not this? So this is a nice example of how you can actually do that. So this is using neural net to guess an object, get that object from poly. Those like 3D models already available in. And this demo actually just shows that it tries to see your hand gesture and guess that what it is and tries to get it inside your VR scene. This is Mozilla Social Hubs. This is kind of like a VR conference room where you can just send out a link, like Zoom rooms we do, and you can just hop into it and you can just talk around with everybody. This comes with spatial audio, everything in browser, and it's already in place. This is some of the other demos of it. I'll just go forward and show you some other demos. So this is another where you can actually build an application, and I was running this in OSCON in browser. So you can just build this application and you can draw something like similar to the painter application I showed, but this is in AR. So you can draw something in real life and it will retain its position, and next time somebody comes in, they will be able to see what is there. This is in my glitch. You can actually still see it and it's available. So the beauty of it is that you can take the remix it, and web is now performant. You have these kind of experiences inside your browser and you can actually show that to others. With the interest of time, I'm gonna go. So web is ideal platform for making these, and I would argue this makes it more accessible to everybody. Thank you. With that, I'm gonna finish my talk. The WebXR specifications I talked about today, they are all available in the immersive web specification. Some of the samples are available in the WebXR polyfill, not all of them. You can get in touch with me if you have any other questions. Shout out to all these fantastic people from Mozilla, Google, and Samsung who made a lot of these experiences and a lot of contribution made us possible to have this kind of experiences in browser today. And if you have any questions, you can email me, you can tweet me, and with that, I'm going to finish my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabimba. It's not that we are hurrying you. It's I would like to see what you have to show us, but the frame rate is a bit laggy.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't get the whole experience, but we will gladly share your presentation to everyone that's here today. So that
yeah, and if it's possible, I'll probably tweet out a few links if you have any hashtag for me to share, so that you can kind of at least experience demos. And these are glitch links, so you can like use your mobile devices to kind of like see the demos.
If you want, if you have them already on your hand, you can paste them in the chat right now, so people can immediately go and check them out. If that's
awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Please, if you want to do that, but we'll send them later.
Yeah, I'll also share it with you in Slack. So yeah, I see one question already. What about the demo code? So I showed a lot of demos, some of them and some of the new ones which I haven't shown. I'll just share the glitch links. So glitch is kind of an open platform where you can like create codes and you can see the code, you can play it, you can just like actually play it, and you can remix the code all you want. So those will be out. So I'll just share them.
Yes, please do. Great. Thank you. Yeah, now we will answer all the questions from the QA section. We have one for you while you're still here, or
two. We have two for
yeah. Can you answer the two last questions? Do you see them, Rabimba?
Wait.
In the chat.
I should be. So one is about the demo code, right?
In the QA, there's a tab.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Why Flutter is lacking 3D support yet? So I actually have no idea. I work very less with Flutter or the Flutter team, but I thought that Flutter is just for making the Android application. So everything I showed you today, if you can have the web view embed in any application you make, these capabilities will be available to you, because these are web APIs. Anywhere you have the the web view or the Chrome embedded, this should be available to there. And so the other question is, can you recommend some best ways to start learning about Mayor, how you started? So I can point you to one of the workshops I did for OSCON that will get you a little bit. So it was a very like basic workshop. So you will literally learn how to build WebVR workshops. And I think all the code I had there is available in my either JS Fiddle or in my, I forgot which platform I used, but that's another like open platform. So, and I can share the slides where you can just go through. It's an interactive slide, maybe like 1.5 hours. You can just get it down. But after that, A-frames, if you're gonna use A-frame as a framework, it has an awesome tutorial and documentation section. That is definitely what I'd recommend. And I'd also recommend some of the talks from Microsoft. They have an awesome team right now, and Babylon JS, which they're kind of actively contributing to kind of start building all these things. So I would say start looking at some of the demos. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you all the time.
Oh, it showed me connection issues reconnecting. But anyway, so yeah, I can share those resources, and you can probably start learning from them.
Yeah, sure. Is there another one? Yeah. Okay. Will you please just paste some general links in the general
Yes.
part of the chat, and we'll share everything later on. So
Yeah.
thank you, Rabimba. Are there any more questions? You have still. Sorry.
I'm gonna paste in the chat. You can find the doc here.
Okay, it's in the QA section. Okay.
Oh,
So
sorry,
everybody,
sorry.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great. So everybody interested, there's a link in the general chat for Rabimba's presentation, and later on we will share some more details and resources. So yeah, okay. Let's answer all the other questions. Thank you, Rabimba. You're free to stay a while. We can chat later or something. So we'll.
I'll hang around.
Yeah. Okay. See ya. We'll now give word to Mario. He has some unanswered questions. And while he's answering them, feel free to add more questions about PhotoPicker in Android and Kafka or VR. There you go, Mario.
Okay, so is there any difference when the consumer consumes the data sent from more than one key at a time, or the data are logged randomly from, say, both keys? So if the producer produced the data, for example, to the 0 with the two different keys, maybe the order will be different. So if is the answer for your question. Because the consumer will start read from the first position, after that from the second position, and
Yeah, does that answer the question? Prabha, you still here? No? Okay, but that did answer the question. Thank you, Mario. Next one. Is there an option for data streaming from some database to another?
yeah, we have a few options. One is with Kafka Connect. For example, when we have the first base, which is our data source, and the Kafka Connect to the database, and with the data sync to send the data to the other database, source and sync. And another one way is with change data capture. The Kafka will read the audit log from the database and send to the another database.
That makes it safer. Yeah. Okay. And Tomislav is wondering how many people are using Kafka. What are use case scenarios that you can think of?
I don't know how many you guys or people use the Kafka, so I don't have any information. But the use cases, for example, in the IoT world, for example, we have so much sensors, and all the sensors that produce the data to the one place, and from that place we send to the another place with high throughput, and to send to the another services or so on.
Yeah, so big companies that have a lot of data.
And for example, another case is, for example, recommendation system in the Netflix or in the Spotify. So when we watch the movies, that platform collect the information, what user clicked, where clicked, and this is the too much information, and decide what is our next movie to watch or listen to song and so on.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mario. I will now use the power to enable microphone to everybody, if that's something, and it doesn't work, it just mutes everybody. Great. But I will just enable everybody, and we can talk on. Who wants to join us? Join us. I think Sandro will have something to say.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say that I'm again not feeling so well, so I'll probably go soon. But it was a great event. I'm happy that we managed to organize with mostly your help, Marco. You did almost everything for this event. So thank you for this. Our first online event. I'm proud of us and looking forward to the next one. I believe next one will be about fodder because we have a lot of speakers that are eager to present. So
Yeah, we will. Yeah, Flutter will be covered extensively, but
yeah, and we'll probably then our third event will be like something that's both live and streamed through the Vegh, through YouTube, everything. Like we're going one step at a time. So each event we're learning new things.
Yeah, so I would say if anyone here present has anything to say, the microphone should be enabled to all of you. And if you have something to present, also contact us. If you don't know,
Definitely.
no problem.
I just want to congratulate you on this first event. There's some very interesting things, and I wish you all the best luck. Just go in this direction. It will be all success.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
In the future, we will also look for places to organize events, sponsors, and everything. So
yeah,
we are open for communication. Just ping us, and we'll talk to you. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So shall we conclude?
And we hope that this talk is being recorded properly, so we'll put it on GDG Zagreb YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll publish a link on LinkedIn or somewhere, Twitter.
I'm just wondering who will buy who, Microsoft, Google, or Google, Microsoft.
Wow,
I was wondering.
Big questions.
They are so close, tight today, so
we'll find out.
Have an information, but it's very tight connection between Microsoft and Google and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Too tight, maybe.
We'll see.
I'm looking for. I think that actually there will be a third contestant that is not in the landscape now. You know? So just wait to see.
This disruptive one. Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Cool.
That will be fun. Yeah. Do you have any more questions? Anything? Talk to us. We have a few more minutes. Or shall we conclude? But it was a good run, so why ruin it? Just joking. Okay. I see many quiet faces. So let's finish this. It was a great seeing you all. It was great listening to all the topics. It was very informative. I am eager to investigate some more in all the things that were said today. And there is a lot of things to cover and learn about. But stay in touch. Contact the presenters if you have any more detailed questions. And we'll see you on the next one. Is that okay?
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Have a nice day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. And hopefully this is recorded. So
So we now have to press stop recording. I just checked. It definitely will be recorded in the wrap-up section on the GDG platform console.
Cool.
Because we have 2 test videos that we made, so this will probably get there. So just press stop recording and let's pray.
Okay.
Okay.
You didn't